What is up, everybody? We are live every Tuesday and Thursday, starting right now. I will be live 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, plus on game days. Dude, I have some really great guests coming up today, too. But I got a lot of people in line. You know, I've been talking to some people, getting people to join the show. And I'm really stoked for what's about to go down. Dude, I'm having so much fun doing this live. I never thought live streams would be this fun. But I got some exciting news, people. Got some exciting news. Yacho.com is sponsoring me. Now, everything I say, like everyone, whenever you have sponsors and nobody really believes it, but Yacho.com is a really awesome thing because I am a horrible gift buyer. Talk about horrible gift buyer. I'll bring it up in a little bit. But at Yacho.com, they send you reminders every time there's a birthday, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever has a birthday, Valentine's Day, all these things that you forget. I forgot anniversaries before, and it's not a fun situation. They send you reminders. All you got to do is go to Yacho.com, sign up. It's absolutely free. No credit card, no nothing. All free. They set you reminders. You tell them a little bit about your wife, your girlfriend, whatever, and they help you buy the gift. They help you buy the gift. It's totally free. Everything is free. No credit card, anything. Go to Yacho.com and sign up right now. Well, not right now. Yeah, if you're watching on your laptop, go on your phone, Yacho.com right now, sign up. I actually love this because I have bought my wife Packer hoodies before because I didn't know what to buy her. And then I ended up just wearing the Packer hoodie. It's really not a gift for her, but she don't mind. But speaking of bad gifts, my wife I said, hey, will you grab me some beer when you're at the store? She bought me 8-ounce cans. 8-ounce cans. Like, I couldn't even use these for shower beers. All right, but we got some great guests coming up. Josh Moser. We got Alex Struff. We got some really good stuff. I talked to Will Redmond. He might jump on next week. I got some really good guests coming up. But everyone, go to Yacho.com, sign up, be a gift buying machine. Yacho, man. I want to be a Yacho man. No, what does it mean to be a Yacho man? I think it means, dude, your wife won't know that you, like, how did you just become a gift buying machine? How did you buy her something that she doesn't hate? My wife has never got a gift from me that she likes. Not genuinely likes. She's just like, oh, okay, thank you. But usually she just tells me, buy me this. I'm like, you just buy that then if you want it so bad. Like, why? If they know what they're getting, it doesn't make sense. So go to Yacho.com, sign up, totally free, and not like free and like it's not free. It's actually free. No credit card, no nothing. Go to Yacho.com and be the gift buying machine. All right, I want to talk about some football stuff today. All right. When Alex and Josh joining me is going to be awesome because he's coming here in about 10 minutes. But injuries are huge for the Packers, like right now. Like Kenny Clark practiced today, I saw. Devontae Adams, I believe, did not practice. And I don't know like what's going on with him. But injuries are a scary part for the Packers right now. And like beyond the injuries, dude, we have to be just excited. We're 2-0. The Packers are 2-0, and I feel like they're not getting the love that a 2-0 team should get. Just like last year, the 13-3 season, talking about, oh, that's the luckiest 13-3 team of all time. Dude, Aaron Jones tore it up last week, and he still doesn't get the credit he deserves. Like Aaron Jones, like if you look at it, like it's way too early to even talk about MVP, but like if you're going to have one right now, like dude, Aaron Jones is a stud. And I don't like talking MVP stuff for anybody at week 2, going into week 3. But dude, Aaron Jones is balling. He's catching. He's got all the numbers. Like, dude, he's a big part of this team. So even if Devontae can't go, which I really, really, really hope he can, I think that the Packers are in decent shape because the running game is like just on point. You got Jamal Williams, AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon hasn't got a lot of looks so far, but I really, really love what this running game is capable of. And like the receivers got a bad rap. Like everyone talked all season long or all off season about we need a receiver. But this offense put up like 1,000 yards, I think it is, in 2 weeks, over 40 points in the first 2 weeks. Like I think they gotta lead the league in total points. Let's check out some comments. Oh, look at this. I am a handsome fella. Appreciate you tuning in, man. All right. Does anyone have any questions real quick before we get Josh Moser in the building? This is my biggest concern. Is Davante Adams available for Sunday? Like that is like the first thing I am going to ask Josh Moser. He knows all the the reporter stuff that I don't know. And that's why I love to have Josh Moser as a contact, someone who I can just bounce stuff off of because I do not have those answers. Okay, he said I just saw it's likely Adams doesn't play. Like I didn't see that, but like I believe you. But I haven't been on social media as much as I usually am lately. But that's what I'm trying to catch up because I've seen Kenny Clark as practice. I know that doesn't mean that he's going to play, but Kenny Clark is so huge for this defense, like for our running game, like the stop and the run. It's so huge. He says, we will be shit talking Viking fans tonight. Oh, of course, all the time. See, Viking fans, dude, I wasn't even hard on Viking fans. I was pretty nice to Viking fans. But then they started chirping. They start all off season talking about. I've said this over and over again, and I said it one night. I had a few drinks in me, you know what I mean. But I said Vikings to me are the new Bears. Like I'm going to trash the Vikings. Every loss, I'm going to talk about it because you were all on me. And then when you lost, you made excuses. How do you make excuses after you get just beat down? Like you can talk about the score all you want. They came back. They got some garbage points. They got some garbage yards. But like, screw the Vikings. Fans be chirping. Take the L, except your team isn't that good this season. The Vikings are just not that good this season. They're not good at all. I hope they lose every game. I really do. Watching from the UK. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in from the UK. Where's everyone from? I always find that interesting to find out where people are from. This is my buddy Lauren. Do you know what you're actually talking about? I do not. That's why I have good guests on to tell me all the things that I don't know I'm talking about. I can fake it a little bit though, you know what I mean? I can fake it. I got a few beers in me. But California in the building. All right, we're just waiting for Josh Moser to get up in here. But what do you guys want to talk about? What do you want me to ask Josh Moser? What do you want me to discuss for today? Let's see what he's got here. I don't know if I click on it because I know him and he might say something messed up. If there was no football, I wouldn't talk about anything. I would just, I don't know what I do. During the offseason, I didn't have too much to say because there's nothing to talk about. Football is life, all right? Let's see what this one says. Bro, I love you, but can we move on from talking about the Vikings? Yeah, I know that. I just had to give my little opinion because I'm going to bash them every now and again. But because Viking fans talk, so we gotta talk back. South Dakota's in the building. All right, Josh Moses is going to be here in a few minutes. I love seeing people like all over the place. New Mexico, love it. Kohler, Wisconsin. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Aaron Rodgers. All right, Aaron Rodgers this season he's just dude, everyone doubted Aaron Rodgers, like what he was going to do this year. And like he was on Pat McAfee's show. He had a lot of good insights of what like why he's playing better. He said he's just happier. He's living his best life. I don't know what that means, but he's living his best life. And he's just slinging it. I think he's tuned in. Aaron Rodgers is ready to roll. And I love it. I love seeing Aaron Rodgers at his best. And even on his down years, or people call his down years, dude, Aaron Rodgers still lighting up. Even last year, if you give Mitch Trubisky Aaron Rodgers stats last year, everyone's ooh and on about it. So like people can talk all that about Aaron Rodgers, but he's back, baby. Aaron Rodgers is back. This Packers offense is back. Like last year, the offense wasn't like just firing out like out the gate, but the defense was. This year, the offense is doing their thing. With the defense, it's tough to even look at. And like understand like what exactly they're doing because the offense is up. So obviously, like the defense is going to be in a different style of defense. They just don't want to give up the big plays, the quick plays. They want to make him go down the field, eat some clock up and all that. Dude, Aaron Rodgers is a stud, baby, and he's back. Dude, I can't wait to see like what this season brings out. What is it? Florida loves me. All right, shout out to Florida, baby. Tommy Crabtree lives in Florida. I love me some Florida. Y'all got gators, so I can't visit. Y'all got some stuff down there that like just I don't want to get run up and get eaten by a gator. All right, what's it saying? I'm not going to get into it. Why Aaron Rodgers is happy. I don't talk about like his dating life and all these other things. I understand that people are gonna. I just ain't gonna do it. But yeah, okay. Game On Wisconsin in the building. All right. Shout out to Game On Wisconsin. If you don't know what Game On Wisconsin is, check them out on Twitter, all the social media. They have great shows. They got the Jamal Williams show. I'll talk to Alex a little bit about that. I love what they got going on. They do some great work, baby. All right. Any minute now, Josh Mose, about 4 minutes. So throw me out some topics real quick that we can chat about before Josh gets in the building. Hey, Rachel. What? Family. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, I'm trying to read these comments here. Is Thomas going to play like that? That's one thing I'll have to ask Josh about because, like, I've heard a lot of different things. I don't know if Michael Thomas, like the full extent of his injury. Like, they're going to be quiet about it. I assume just the way that the Packers are with Devontae Adams. Like, he's not practicing, but I can't imagine the Packers are saying too much about it. Like I said, I've been off social media the last 2 days, but mac and cheese from Quick Trip. Dude, mac and cheese from Quick Trip is my stuff. I love me some macaroni and cheese. Are the Lions okay? Matthew, what up, Alex? Dude, are the Lions going to tank this season? Like, the Lions don't have to tank. The Lions just naturally tank. That's just what they do. Even if they start strong, like they haven't done in a lot of years, but once in a while they start strong. But the Lions are going to lion. You know what I mean? I think the Vikings are going to lion this year too. But that's just what the Lions do. The Lions do not. I mean, like, I was a little worried, like, in the first quarter, like, all right, because I know the Lions play the Packers. It's like their Super Bowl. It's like their big game. So, like, I was a little concerned, like, all right, but just like the Vikings game, you know, first quarter didn't go as scripted, but they made some changes or whatever they did to get it popping. But then the smackdown got laid. You know what I mean? 19-0. All right, I don't think the Packers will go 19-0, but I will say this because I was talking with someone earlier. I will predict the Packers win every single game this season. Like, when I do picks, I don't think I've ever picked the Packers, except for like those years, like you got injuries and you're just playing someone. But even then, I'm like, yo, dude, I rep my team. Like, I got faith every year. When you have Aaron Rodgers, like, you have a chance to win every single game. And this offense right now, I'm not sure the Packers have had an offense quite like this in quite some time. They are more like kittens. You got that right, dude. The Detroit Lions have never scared me. And I know that they beat us in a lot of seasons when that shouldn't have happened. But the Lions are going to line. Like, they're going to get some on you because the Lions do worry me a little bit just as a Packer fan because just like a lot of division games, like, you could be the better team, but they just come out swinging every single time. Do the NFL team has what? I think that was the wrong question. So no other NFL team has beat another team 100 times except the Pack over the Lions, right? That's a cool stat, but that was not what I was reading when I clicked on it. That's why I was thrown off a little bit. But yeah, dude, the Packers have owned the Lions since like forever, like going back like to the Favre days, and like the Lions have always been like. I remember the first time, like one of my first memories of Brett Favre was when he threw that long pass in the playoffs to beat the Lions to I think it was Kittrick Taylor. I don't know. I forget the name off the top of my head. I probably said it wrong. The Bears have beat the Lions 100 times. Have they? I don't know how many times. I really don't know that stat. Like if the Packers beat them 100 times, the Bears did. But that was rough. But I can see that because the Lions, they're not. I mean, a lot of teams that beat them. Do you think if you decided to become sober, could your liver handle? No, my liver could not handle it. My liver would be in shock if if I just decide to go sober. All right, so now we got Josh Moser in the building. He's let me just do this. I don't have a producer. This is all me. So Fox 11, Josh Moser in the building. What is up, man?
How we doing? Just walked off the news set. Here to join you.
This is the guy right here. He's at work, busting his butt, doing the news, and the first thing he does comes on and talks to me. I appreciate your time, man.
Of course, always. Anything for you.
All right, the first thing I want to talk about, this is what I've been thinking about all day, but Davante Adams, this injury, he didn't practice today, right?
He did not.
So, like, what are you, like, hearing? Do you got any, like, secrets? You got any, like, scoop that no one else knows and that you want to tell me, like, he's fine and ready to go?
I wish I could. The Packers have been very close to the vest with this. And really, when you look at Davante Adams, it's not just about 1 week. Unless COVID completely shortens this season, it's only week 3. And you're going on the road on Sunday Night Football. You need Davante down the stretch, and you need to keep him healthy. So 1 win in week 3 would be a lot different than forcing him to play in this game and missing 6 games later in the season. Now, last year he had the turf toe injury, missed 4 games. Packers were able to win all 4 of those games. But when you really talk about this season, because Matt LaFleur's offense, I feel, has really evolved here in week 2. Week 1, the Vikings defense, they decide to take away Aaron Jones. Now, all of a sudden, Davante has a phenomenal game. Week 2, the Lions take away Davante. Aaron Jones pops off for a career best day, 168 yards rushing, had that 75-yard touchdown. So with Davante out of the lineup, it completely changes how the defense can line up against the Packers. They can key in on Aaron Jones. That's going to mean MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Allen Lazard will have to play so much better. But having Davante on the field opens up everything else for this offense, and that's why they've been able to put up 85 points here in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think that Aaron Jones has been huge, and he's your guy. You had him on Inside the Huddle, right? Yeah. So, dude, what is Aaron Jones saying? Like, you talk to him, like, you guys are best pals. So, how jacked is he? Because, like, I don't know the disrespect he gets, but this is how good he is. Like, I think he could be one of the best backs in the league.
He is one of the best backs in the league. I think you look at last year, he led the NFL in touchdowns. He is leading the NFL in rushing yards here through the first 2 weeks of the season. What's really interesting, though, is Alvin Kamara was in the same draft class as him. He just got a 5-year, $75 million extension this year.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook from the Minnesota Vikings, 5-year, $63 million extension. Packers beat the Vikings to open the season. So I think Aaron Jones deserves that money. I think he has proven that he is that type of caliber of a back. I think he should have been a Pro Bowler last year, in my opinion. But no doubt this offense is not the same as it is without Aaron Jones.
So, like, do you think, like, I know the Packers, they got a lot of decisions to make coming up. Is Aaron Jones a Green Bay Packer next season, you think?
I believe so. I know that Steinberg Sports and his agent, Chris Cabot, have been talking extensively about a deal. It's all about figuring out the money and how to make it work. How much is the salary cap going to go down? But I think David Bakhtiari said something that was really interesting to me. And he's like, you can move whatever money around that you want. If you want a guy, you find a way to make it work. So you got to resign David Bakhtiari. You got to resign Aaron Jones. You got to resign Jamal Williams. You've got to resign Kevin King. I don't know. I mean, he's been phenomenal as well. So there's a lot of pieces that have to get re-signed. Corey Linsley's another one. So they got to figure out what they're going to do with this cap. And, that's why the Packers have kept Russ Ball around. He's their number man, and we'll see what happens. But I think the Packers would be very foolish to let 33 walk out of the building.
Yeah, I really don't see it happening. Like I don't know a lot about like cap stuff because like that's just not my like forte. Like understand money. I can't even barely pay my own bills. But like David Bakhtiari, like you mentioned him. I saw him wearing a shirt, call my agent, and he said a while back that the Packers haven't discussed anything. Has that changed? Like, are the Packers talking to David Bakhtiari's agent?
They've definitely probably had some conversation, but it hasn't been public knowledge. Look, David Bakhtiari is possibly the best left tackle in football. He has proven that he is deserving of another huge contract. You look back to last year, what they did with Brian Bulaga. He signed a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Chargers. The Packers weren't going to pay him that money. That's a former first-round pick. And David Bakhtiari has been so solid. And the left tackle, in my opinion, is the most important position on the offensive line. You're protecting a right-handed quarterback's blind side, and he has been phenomenal. The relationship he has with Aaron Rodgers is huge, and his play has been phenomenal. So, again, it's figuring out how to make that money work. But if I'm the Green Bay Packers, priority 1A and 1B is re-signing both Bakhtiari and Jones.
Yeah, I David Bakhtiari is a must. Like I'm sure Aaron Rodgers has got some thoughts on them making sure he's there protecting him. But like, what about like you mentioned Jamal Williams, who's like a fan favorite. He's always so happy. What are the chances of like both Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams coming back?
I think it's slim, to be honest with you. It's both Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones are represented by the same agent. And that makes it even more interesting, right? And the both of them are two very close friends as well. But I think they are a phenomenal running back duo. They complement each other so well. And specifically Williams, what he did this offseason in fine-tuning his route running and what we've seen from him, not only in the run game, but the pass game. And I mean, Aaron Jones last week, I still can't believe that catch he made on the sidelines over the cornerback. I think first name Darrell has been in the league for 4+ years, veteran. I mean, he goes up one-on-one against a cornerback and high points the ball. You don't see that in the NFL. There are only a few running backs that can make a catch like that, and then do it against a cornerback is elite. And with Jamal, he runs differently than Jones, but they're a good 1-2 punch. I know a lot of people are talking about Kareem Hunt and the money that they paid him to stay in Cleveland. When you've got Chubb there as well, I think they might be the best backfield in the NFL right now, but I wouldn't put Williams and Jones. I think they're right there. And if they can figure out a way to keep both of those guys, I understand spend a second-round pick on A.J. Dillon, but right now, I know it's a rookie year for Dillon. Those two are levels above, and I would expect great play from both Williams and Jones moving forward.
Do you think that they're gonna like start adding in Dillon more? I know that the off season, like we saw the clips. I'm just like he's just a machine. He's got legs the size of like my body, which is saying something. And like he hasn't got the ball a ton. I know it's tough to give three guys like the ball, but like do you envision like as the season goes on, maybe there's trust because he's a rookie, or I don't know the reason, but do you think he'll get the ball more?
I think you'll see him work into game plans more, especially as the season goes on. And we saw really in week 1, he was put in the game when the Packers had the big lead. And when you have a back like that, it's a downhill north and south runner like Dillon. He's a clock eater. And when you have a lead, that's a guy you want to give the ball to, have him protect the ball. Now, DeGuara, the 3rd-round pick, was out this last week as your tight end, H-back, halfback, if you will. So I think having him out of the scheme and unavailable makes Dillon's touches a little harder because you want a lead blocker in front of him. It also depends on the defense and the front that you're facing. So Matt LaFleur is always going to attack matchups. That's why they love Aaron Jones so much in the pass game and Jamal Williams so much in the pass game when they're matched up against a linebacker. So when you can get the right personnel, if you have that heavy personnel, that's where you're going to see A.J. Dillon more, especially when the Packers have a lead, when they need to chew up clock. But right now, you've got Aaron Jones, who's arguably the best back right now in football, leading the NFL and rushing through the first 2 weeks, and a great compliment in Jamal Williams. I would give them the bulk of the load and then see if you can start working in Dillon depending on the defense that's being played and who else you have available on the roster.
Yeah, like this team, like these gadget plays, like I don't know if you call them gadget plays, but like these wide receiver, like running across, pitching, like all these crazy plays. So this is what they've been preparing for, like LaFleur, what he's been drafting for, this is his offense. So like How do you see this offense going for? Like, is this offense going to sustain this level of success throughout the year?
I'm sure every Packers fan would hope so, right? I mean,
Oh, I think so. I mean, it obviously depends on injuries.
Back-to-back weeks. I think it's
I
going to
called
depend
it.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend largely on injuries. And, you know, it's week to week in the NFL, and your roster can look so different one week as opposed to the next. I think the San Francisco 49ers are a great example of that, given what they dealt with this last week. When you're talking about those types of like end around plays and the bunch formations, the Packers saw a lot of man coverage versus the Lions. And that's where you can create those rub routes. So that's where you have the cornerback trailing that wide receiver. But if you can get a guy like Tyler Ervin, or we've seen Alan Lazard on that end around, he's just got too much speed for that guy to cover. And you can see him break off that 8 to 10 yard run, get that first down, move the chains. So it really depends on how the defense is lining up. And Matt's it's like punch, counter punch. And that's why Matt LaFleur was brought here. And then you've got Aaron Rodgers, who's obviously a future Hall of Fame quarterback. I think he's playing at an elite level. And what makes him even more special is just his command at the line of scrimmage and what he can do in reading defenses pre-snap and then getting his guys lined up in a different way, changing the play to take advantage of what he sees. There's probably nobody better in football at that.
Oh, yeah. I think that, like, just what I've seen for, like, this offense this year and, like, just, like, I can see, like, what LaFleur's, like, vision is. So, like, I asked this, I think, last week. I was a little tipsy, Josh, when I was doing a live, but who
Drink
are, like,
right?
Yeah, dude, that's what we do. We're drinking. That's a small beer. My wife got me 8-ounce beers. But anyways,
come on now.
I know. So I had to bring like a 12-pack up here. No, but who are the threats in the NFC? Because, you know, I think it changed a little bit. You know, the Niners got some injuries going, which I don't like injury. I think injuries are horrible. I don't care the team. Who are the big threats for the Packers in the NFC?
I think you got to start with the Seattle Seahawks. I think they're far and above right now. Yeah, take a sip of that beer. Come on now. You're off the clock.
It's getting warm. I'm trying to be a professional here, Josh.
Yeah. You're off the clock. You're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Russell Wilson is phenomenal. I think I believe Vegas put him as the odds-on favorite now to win the MVP over Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. So you've got to start there. I think that division's really interesting given the injuries to the 49ers. I think they definitely take a step back. Well, the East is kind of, we'll see what happens there. And the NFC South with the Saints, the Bucks. I mean, Brady's only played 2 weeks. I'm curious to see as the season progresses, how they go on. But I think the Packers right now, given what happened to the 49ers, I think it's between them and the Seahawks here, at least early in the season. And I know Packers fans aren't going to like this. I mean, the Cowboys struggled in that game against the Falcons. I think I'm very curious to see what happens with Atlanta when they come here in a couple weeks. But, I wouldn't count out the Cowboys. They got a really stacked roster. And if Mike McCarthy can figure things out and that team can get going, they've got all of the pieces as well. But health is the biggest issue. And, we can't discount this upcoming Sunday night. The Saints have been historically so good for so many years. And what Drew Brees and Sean Payton have put together, they're two great offensive minds. And I'd be very curious to see what happens because they've got a ton of weapons on both sides of the ball as well. But Seahawks Packers definitely right now levels above the rest. And we'll see if that's confirmed this Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. The Seahawks game, I watched that. That was ridiculous. Like, the Seahawks are legit. Like, I'll rep my team. I hope to God that, but like we stay healthy and like we don't get nicked with like a bunch of nagging injuries. But the Seahawks look legit. But let's talk about the Saints. Michael Thomas. Do you know anything about his injury situation? That's the one. That's a huge point for this game.
Well, funny you should mention him. We don't know yet. The guy that would know is the Packers team doctor, and that's Dr. Bob Anderson, actually my neighbor. But he's over here with Bell, and he is the foremost ankle foot guy in the country. That's why he was brought here by Dr. Pat McKenzie. And Von Miller has been here. He did Kevin Durant when he had his Achilles injury. So with all of that, he is a big piece, and it's going to be the Packers team doctor making a decision on if Michael Thomas is going to go or not. So that's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But look, you really look at this matchup from a fan perspective. You've got a future Hall of Fame quarterback, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. You've got two of the best running backs in the game in Kamara and Aaron Jones. And now you've got Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, maybe 1 and 2 receivers in the game right now, if you will, over Julio Jones, over Hopkins because he's with the new team. So imagine those three against each other, like build like that. And then you've got to remember Jared Cook. I mean, that's what we want to see. But I think it's going to be a game time decision. Remember, it's a 16-game season. We're only in week 3. You want to be strongest as you enter late December. And from a fan perspective, you want to see both Michael Thomas and Devontae out there. I want to see them both out there. I hope that they are. But as you can imagine, for game planning purposes, both coaches going to keep that one wrapped up, I think, until the very last minute.
Oh yeah, I definitely want the best players available. I don't root for injuries. I don't want injuries. I mean, if a player is not playing like their best player, like I'm not mad about it. I don't wish anything like that on them. But yeah, this Saints game I think is going to be like humongous. This is going to be like one of the games of the week. Both offenses are going to be slinging it, and I love to see it. So before you get going, all right, I'm gonna let you go here in a minute. But so what do you see for this team? Like, what do you think? Like this team going forward? Like I know we played. I think it has a lot to do with the Saints game, how they look. But what do you think for this team going forward? Like are they Super Bowl? Yeah.
Through the first 2 weeks, I mean, you have to say yes, but it's only going into week 3. You need to be peaking, late in the season. One concern that I have personally is that the bye week is early this year. It's in week 5. So you're going to have to go a 12-week stretch through the cold months, through the flu season with no break. And if you go back to 2016, when the Packers lost to the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Championship game, the entire football team got sick that week. A bug ran through the locker room. And I mean, you can't predict that, but I remember that. I think the Packers are in the Super Bowl. I think they win the Super Bowl had they had not gotten sick. It was crazy with Mason Crosby winning on the game winner in Dallas in the divisional round. They had it there, but this offense, I'm curious to see how defenses are going to key in on them. And that's where we talked about earlier was Devontae Adams, his availability. That's going to dictate a lot moving forward, especially this week, Sunday. But as of right now, I don't think you can discount the Packers. I mean, you're putting up 40 points. They've got the highest average in the league through the first 2 weeks of the season. Comfortability level, the players are all talking about it, how they just feel so comfortable. And that's huge moving forward. But it's only week 2. We can't jump the gun just yet. But right now, I think Packers fans should be pretty happy with what they've seen in the first 2 weeks. But you've kind of got a gauntlet. I'm looking over here at the schedule of quarterbacks, at least from a fan perspective. So Matt Ryan after Drew Brees, Tom Brady after that, Deshaun Watson after that. So I think these next 4 games are going to be really telling as far as what we can see from this defense. And we should have a much better idea after Sunday night, and especially once you get through away games at the Buccaneers, at the Texans. And then that brings us to week 8, where the fans hopefully will be inside Lambeau for the first time on November 1st against the Vikings.
Yeah, I hope the fans are back in Lambeau. I'd like to get to a game. Yeah, but I think that's a really good point. These quarterbacks that this defense faces, like a lot of people have been giving the defense a hard time this year, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Packers have had to lead going into the second half. So, like, I don't know. I think this defense will hold up, but we'll see.
Look, you put up 40 points a game. The object is to score more points than the other team. So you're putting up 40, you're in a great spot.
So one last question I got. I forgot about this. All right, so with this offense, with the tight end position, I think this tight end, going into this season, the tight end position was something that I really I'm sorry. But yeah, I know, right? No, but Jay Sternberger, who I absolutely love, he had a drop. He got a hard time because, but what do you see from Jason, and this tight end position, how they're using him?
It all depends on the matchup. And we saw early in the last game, a couple drops early from the tight end position. Packers did not have DeGuara. So I think that really factors in, even though he's a rookie. And then you have Bobby Biceps, with the touchdown catch on the second read.
Oh, yeah, Tanya.
Still one of my favorite nicknames.
Yeah.
God, called Bobby Biceps. I mean, unbelievable. But he's a guy they need. And if Devontae Adams can't go, you're going to need a lot more from the tight end position. And, of course, it's ironic that they're playing the Saints, who have Jared Cook, who, in my opinion, should have never been let go from Green Bay. He was the guy they needed to lock up and keep. He's been phenomenal for the Raiders and for the Saints. And, that catch in Dallas on the sidelines in 2016, that divisional game was unreal. But they're going to need a lot from that position. And I think this is where Matt LaFleur needs to use his pieces. Mercedes Lewis in the blocking game. Curious to see if they get the running backs involved. And, we'll see how he exploits the matchup. But you need those tight ends to make plays. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling needs to have more consistency. We've seen the flashes and how much of a game breaker he can be. And if he takes that next step, which I believe he can, then you've got two legitimate guys. And don't sleep on Alan Lazard, because I think he could even line up as a tight end with his size, his strength, and his blocking ability. Matt LaFleur has really preached that he has done a phenomenal job, and defenses are keying in, knowing where number 13 is on the field, because he's been lighting people up in that blocking game.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think that he's underrated. I don't think that he gets enough respect for what he's doing. He's a young guy. But I'll let you go. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, taking the time right after your news show. I was downstairs just drinking beer before I started.
Hey, this is what I do, man. I get paid to talk about Packers football. I mean, it's a blessing, man. Living a dream.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Stop anytime.
Look forward to it.
All right, bye. All right, now we got Alex Stroff is in the building. All right, I'm going to see. Is he drinking? I think he's drinking. Let me bring this thing up here. Look at this. Boom. I'm a professional. As we go, Alex Stroff, what is up, my man? I can't hear you. I can't hear what you're saying. I think his audio.
What about now? You got
okay, I got you.
I don't know what happened. Apparently this thing doesn't work. So that's good. What's up?
Great start. Dude, I'm good. How are you? How are you enjoying this? No, I seen that. Dude, you're like the busiest guy ever. So when I asked you to come on, I was like, I don't know. You're a producer. You're you have your own show. You're doing everything.
Yeah, I was doing TV like Josh just before this. I had a 5 o'clock news thing for student television. So I was doing that, and then I bounced over here. Now I'm drinking beer because I'm at home, and we got Thursday night football tonight. So I'm good. I'm good now. I'm not too busy. This is just a conversation. So
yeah,
I always love catching up with you. So
all right. So I'm a little bit tipsy. Dude. My wife bought me 8-ounce beers. I can't get over this.
I was watching you and Josh, and I heard you tell him that, and I was going to write. I think she's sending you a message. You drink so much, you've gotten downgraded to baby beers.
No, actually, it was a joke because last night I said, hey, she was going to the grocery store. I'm like, hey, grab me some beer. She's like, all right. So I walk into the room, they get home, and there's these 8-ounce beers, 12-pack sitting in the counter. I'm like, what are these? And she's like, I got you beer. I'm like, these are 8-ounce. She's like, what do you mean? And she played it off. Okay. And I was like, no, these beers, I can't. These are 8-ounce beers. I had to put them next to me. But then she was joking. She had the real stuff next to it. But she wouldn't do me like that. But so what are your thoughts going into the Saints game? I know we got some injuries I talked about with Josh. Kenny Clark is practicing now. I don't know if that means he'll play. I don't know what's going on there. But what are your thoughts going into this game?
I feel good. I mean, obviously New Orleans is going to be pissed off given that bad showing on Monday. I mean, nobody expected Las Vegas to win that game, I don't think. I didn't pick them. I doubt you.
Oh, no.
I didn't expect Las Vegas to win that whatsoever. But, I don't know if I expect a 40-point offensive performance. I expect the offense to still be hitting on almost all cylinders. They look too damn good not to. But on the defensive side, I mean, it's Drew Brees and company. So you can expect high power, high flying offense from them as well. So I think it's going to be a back and forth. I think it's going to be a shootout, a high scoring game. The over under for this game is only 52.5. So any gamblers in Illinois watching us, go ahead and hit that over. So that's where I'm at. I don't know, Matt. I'm feeling good. I think it's going to be a good game. It's always a war when New Orleans and Green Bay meet up. So I'm expecting a good game. I imagine I'll get frustrated and I'll be really, really thrilled with a lot of the game, but that's how it goes every Sunday, it seems.
Oh, yeah, because I was watching Tom Grassi's live stream. He streams during the game. Shout out to him. He does it really good, right? So I was like, because I'm trying to think of the things I could do. And I was like, I should live stream during the game. But then I started thinking, like, as I was watching the game, like, I cuss way too much during the game. Like,
Matt,
I couldn't.
Hold on a minute. Do you remember having this exact conversation on Sunday?
Did we?
Yes,
we
we
might.
did.
I was so drunk. I was drunk. No, but I don't even know where I was going with that. But no, but like, I think that the quarterback matchup. Let's just move on. The quarterback matchup, I think, is.
As soon as Moser leaves, this thing gets off the rails.
It's off the rail. I depend on my guests to keep it going because I'm not a host. I'm learning as I go. Like, I'm on the fly here, baby.
You're doing great.
I learned from you. But no, hey, but I real quick before we move on, I do want to give a shout out to the Jamal Williams show. I know we mentioned that Sunday. I don't remember that. But now you guys had your first episode. You were producing it. And I thought the producing was phenomenal. No, I don't know.
I appreciate
But
it.
I did watch. I tuned in. I think that was great. You had some technical issues out the gate. I don't know if that was your fault or
No, that's
Jamal's.
not my fault. They wanted to play it off like it was my fault, but it was Jamal's Wi-Fi. It looks like yours does right now. Your camera looks horrible today. What's going on?
No, I look good. I see me.
You're
My
blurry.
Wi-Fi's really
Yeah.
not for me. I think it's your problem. Just like
Oh,
in the
maybe.
Jamal Williams show, I think it's on you.
See, Josh looked great. You looked blurry. I don't know. I'm not here to criticize, but that's wanted to let you know.
That's why I have less viewers than normal. I don't look as pretty as I normally do. All right. So you take over. All right. Now you're the host.
All right,
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about tight ends because you brought that up with Josh.
Yeah, I did. That's a great topic.
Darren Waller, he's not obviously what any of the Packers tight ends are, but he had a field day on Monday against New Orleans. So I'm hoping maybe we see, he called him Bobby Biceps. So I'm going to steal that. Bobby Biceps. Maybe he'll have an even bigger game than he did last Sunday. But I imagine they're going to be looking at that tape from Monday against that Saints defense. Maybe they'll fit in some more tight ends as LaFleur has tried to implement over the last 2 years. I'm interested to see how that works out on Sunday night.
Yeah, like I was saying to Josh, I was like, Sternberg, I really love Sternberg. I know he got a lot of crap on social media because of that drop. But I think that stuff happens. But I think this tight end group, I love me some Bobby Tonyan. Like Robert Tonyan, I love what he does. I've been rooting for him since forever. And he was cool with me like when I was at the Packers charity softball game when I screwed up and everyone was mad at me. He like made jokes about it. He messaged me like, yeah, that we were making fun of you on the sidelines or in the dugout or whatever. But anyways, I'm rooting for these tight ends. Like, yeah, speaking of that Saints game, I remember you mentioned when you were doing your picks, you were doing something. You're like, the Saints will beat the Raiders. Like that's done. And I thought the same thing.
I had a freezing cold take, man. So I do my top 10. I just do a YouTube video every Monday. And I ran with it as if the Saints would be 2-0, meaning we have 11 2-0 teams left. So I'll rank the top 11, just the undefeated teams. I ran with the Saints. It made sense for about 2 hours because I posted that video at about 5 p.m. It made sense for about 2 hours, maybe 2.5. And then Derek Carr decided to look like Peyton Manning.
Yeah. That's where I saw it. I wasn't sure if you said that on my show or if you I remember I watched that video of yours. I watched your
show too. I was so well. I probably said it on your show too. I assumed both teams would be 2-0 meeting up this Sunday night, but bad take. We all have them.
Dude, I have every take I've ever had. No, I actually predicted the Packers to score over 40 last week. And I don't know what I'll predict for this week. So
well, let's hear it. What are you going to predict for this week?
I think it's going to be a shootout. I think that I don't know. It's hard to predict that they're going to score 40 because I think both these offenses are going to be on the field a lot. So I don't know. I think the Packers win, but I think let's just say off the top of my head, 31-27. Packers are going to win it.
I like that. I think that's really good.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I'm like right there. I think I predicted 31-28 on the radio last night. So I think.
All right. Yeah. I had no thought process into that. Just so you know, like there was no analyst. I don't have it written down somewhere. I don't know. But I think that this team is good. So I asked Moses. I'll ask you, like, how good can this team go this season? Because I know the 2-0, but they played, some sketchy teams. But how good can they be?
I don't know if I'd call if it was out of division opponents that were, Lions or Vikings level, then I'd say they play some sketchy teams. But that's divisional football, man.
Yeah, that's true.
That is as good as it gets, and these teams know each other like the back of their hands. I know LaFleur's obviously only in his second year, so maybe he's still got some tricks up his sleeve. He still has some tricks up his sleeve, but they didn't look like they were fazed by the Vikings, who they're typically in close games with and allow really immaculate things to happen against, and that's not at all what happened in Week 1. They just kept it too close. But the Lions, I mean, it was domination outside of when it was 14-3 or whatever it was there in the first quarter. The Packers just started rolling, and they looked ridiculous. So, I think they can be as good as they want to be, injuries aside, right? As long as there's no crucial bad injuries, this team can be a 13-3, 14-2 ball team, really make a case for that 1 seed and make a case for the Super Bowl, Matt. I know it's early. I don't want to overreact, but they look as good as they did a year ago, and they were almost in the Super Bowl last year. So I think they're as good, if not better, as last year at the minimum.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I people tell me you overreact, but dude, I think that this team is really good. I think they're better than they were last year. Like we'll see like where they ended, and at the end of the season, a lot of things happen. But like, dude, I'm jacked about this team. I think this team can go to the Super Bowl. Like especially like with the NFC, like everything like how it's starting. Like I say, it's way, way, way too early. But dude, I'm excited.
It looks wide open through 2 weeks. Outside of Josh's pick with Seattle, I think Arizona makes a really good case early. I don't think that's an overreaction. I think Arizona is going to be really good. But the 49ers, obviously, the injuries just suck. You hate to see that happen. I didn't pick them to make the playoffs from the get-go. I think they digress at least a little bit from last year. But now with the injuries, it's not looking good at all for the 49ers. But that division's got 3 2-0 teams. The Rams as well are undefeated through 2 weeks. So there's some teams, but I think the Packers are better than all of them right now, including the Seahawks. While I think the Seahawks are right there, I think I'd give the Packers the edge over any team in the NFC right now. I don't know if I continue to feel that way, but through 2 weeks, Matt, they look by far like the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, the Seahawks look ridiculous, but yeah, I agree. I think you can't. I mean, I don't think you can argue that the Packers are the best team in the NFC. I mean, I think you can argue it, but you have to at least say they're up there with whatever team, whether it's the Seahawks, who you pick. Like they're there.
They have to be in the right. They have to be in the conversation of the what is it? 4 undefeated teams in the NFC or whatever it is. Let me do the math here. Yeah, it's 4. 4 undefeated teams in the NFC. They are atop the bunch. I mean, you could make the case for Seattle, like you said. I don't think you can make the case for either Arizona or Los Angeles being better than Green Bay right now, because that's just not that's flat out untrue. It just is. Seattle and Green Bay atop the NFC through 2 weeks. We'll see. I think the Saints are going to bring a really big fight this weekend. I think it's going to be a really good game and a close one too. It's going to get uncomfortable. Maybe we have a Crosby walk-off.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an insane. It could be very, very close. It could be the last second type thing. So, where did you have the Packers coming into the season? Did you make a prediction for a record?
Yeah, I actually picked back in July. I picked every NFL game on the slate this season, so I have a final record prediction for every team.
Wow!
For the record, I have the Bears going 5-10-1. 5-10-1. I have the Bears tying the Jacksonville. I don't know, some team they played this year. I think it's Jacksonville. But anyway, I had the Packers at 12-4 before the season. I think that's probably what they'll get around. Like I said earlier, I think 13-3 and 14-2 are completely realistic through 2 weeks. I'll keep adding that preface, but yeah, I think overall Packers probably 12-4, 13-3, somewhere in there. I think they're that good.
And so you're sticking with like what you predicted, or are the Packers better than that? What you thought? Like, are they starting off a little better than what you thought they would? I mean, I don't think you predicted 40 points a game, but through 2 weeks. But
nobody could. You got it in week 2 because you're the closest thing to a genius. So
no, I think I was drunk when I said that. Sometimes I get arrogant with my team. Like I'll people would tweet me, like different fan bases of Vikings, Niners, whoever. They'll be tweet me and I get mad. Like I'm not mad, but I'll be getting like all on Twitter. They're gonna score 40 points. and hey, I was right, and I called it. I think I was like 6 points off for the total score. So like, I mean, some people would call me a genius. I just think, I just doing the best I can.
Hey, just take the credit, man. Just take the credit.
I'll take the credit. I mean, this is why I'm a podcaster, because I know so much.
Yeah. You have to pass the test to create a podcast, right? You have to have an IQ of this number. Nobody can create a podcast. You have to fill out the application. You're right.
Yeah, I think it's funny though. Now that you mentioned it, I think it's funny because people will send me links saying, like, someone sent me one earlier, Davante Adams is not going to play, and there's just a link. I'm like, I can make a link. I have a website.
Right.
Like, I can write. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm just saying it's like, I don't trust, like, whatever, if it's not like the Packers saying it or whatever. And the same thing with podcasters. Like, anybody can do this. Like, literally anybody. You can do a podcast on your phone. Just because you have a podcast or just you have a website, like, doesn't mean you know anything. Like, it's the same thing with, like, verified accounts. Like, I'm verified on Facebook, and if I write something, people will say, oh, I've seen it in my comments, he's verified, so it's probably true. Like, no, that does not mean that. Like, I'm not the news. Like on Twitter, there's a lot of verified accounts that just say crazy stuff. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Just because you're like whatever on social media, on the internet, doesn't mean you know shit.
I think the reason you and I aren't verified on Twitter is because we get drunk and talk football a lot less good. See, there's Angus, a lot less good than Josh does. So he's verified. He reports the news. We report our drunken takes.
Well, exactly it, dude. Everything I say is an opinion. Like, I've never, even when I report news on Facebook, I just screenshot someone who knows what they're talking about and then post it. Like, I'll just screenshot their tweet. Hey, this guy said this. It's like Rob Devolsky. He has all the news. Yeah. Moser, they got all the news. Like, I don't. I have an opinion and a beer.
You need to trademark that. I have an opinion and a beer.
Look at this is my brother-in-law. What's up, Matt? Who's this Matt Ramage guy? Any good? No, he's not any good. But so before I let you go here, like I don't know, I'm off the chains here. Yeah. What else you got? Like anything that you want to talk about before we go? No, I'm putting it on you.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. You came so prepared for Josh. You had 15 questions for Josh.
Well, because I asked him a bunch of questions, and then I was like, well, I was thinking about, as he was saying, I'm like, what am I going to talk to Alex about now? Because you know the same stuff.
Josh knows more than me, no doubt about it. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm really excited. Packers aside, I'm really excited for Monday night. Chiefs Ravens in Baltimore. I think that's going to be insane. And I don't often get excited about Monday Night Football. There's a football game tonight. I'll watch it probably. I'm not sure yet. It's Jacksonville and Miami, if you even knew that.
Yeah, it's like
no. Yeah, I don't have a huge stake in that. I'll watch it because it's football. But yeah, that's really all I got, man. It's always good to talk to you.
No, speaking of that Monday night game, I think that is that's going to be a huge game. I love me some Lamar Jackson. Like watching him play to me is like I have no stakes. I don't care about the Ravens.
Who do you prefer? Who do you like watching more? Because I'm on one side. It sounds like you might be on the other. Lamar or Patrick Mahomes? Who would you rather go out of your way to watch?
Lamar Jackson. I love Patrick Mahomes. Like but Lamar Jackson, like you just never know. Like it'll be like some little play and he'll just break it off and I don't know. He just runs like a running back. Like he's fun.
He's developed the arm now, so he's ridiculous, and they have that great backfield. Baltimore's a fun team to watch, but I'd go with Patrick Mahomes. I think, I was thinking about this earlier today, and I don't think nobody ever bats an eye when I say this. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the greatest quarterback we've ever seen, without a doubt, as long as he stays healthy. I think he's just unbelievable. Like he's that freaking talented. And it's funny because that seems like such a crazy take for a guy that's only in his third year starting, but it's not because he's that ridiculous. So that's why I prefer Mahomes to Jackson, but Jackson obviously also probably a top 3 most fun player to watch in the NFL, not just quarterback, but any position.
Yeah, because like back in the day with like Mike Vick, Brett Favre, some guys are just like really, really fun to watch because you just never know like what's gonna happen.
And on a side note, I'm just rambling over here now. I'm rambling Matt Ramage. It's not often. I mean, we get it a lot with the Packers versus other teams, but it's only twice or 3 times a season maximum where you have both the noon spot and 3:30 spot open to not watch the Packers. So I'm very excited to see other teams that I typically don't get to watch this weekend. You know, you've got that Bills and Rams game, two 2-0 teams. We find out, you know, I think that's going to be a really good one. What's that? Is it Seattle and Dallas? Is that it? Yeah, they play at 3:25. I think that's America's game of the week. That's going to be a fun one. It's going to be, I don't know. We never get the opportunity to watch non-Packer games midday. So
yeah, I think it's really good because since the season started, I've been trying to do this live stuff. And so I haven't like watched a lot of non-Packer games because I was setting up, and I got my TV in here. So when I do
did you set up the TV now?
I got the TV set up.
Okay,
so like while I'm doing it, I can watch. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to be doing this, and then I'm just going to start screaming about what's happening on my TV, and I'm going to blame you for that.
Fair enough. That is my fault. But you know, worst case, you just call up producer Kyle. He'll come in and save it for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got producers over there. I got nothing. I'm over here working solo.
Hey man, you've got ads now. You can hire a producer now.
Yeah, I'm gonna hire someone. I'm trying to get my kid. I'm like, I'll do the dishes if you learn how to produce and help me out. I'll take your job from you. I'll do the dishes. You can hit some buttons on the screen.
That sounds like a good deal, Matt. You seem like the best father.
I'm awesome. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time, and maybe you'll jump on again next week. I love talking football with you. Next time, I might even prepare for you.
Oh wow! Well, yeah, that would be great, Matt.
That would be ideal.
Learn how to do your damn job. All right.
It's been a busy day. All right. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Peace out. All right. So big thanks to Alex Stroh coming on. Appreciate everyone listening. And remember, yacho.com. Learn how to buy gifts that your wife will be shocked how good you are. It sends you reminders when it's her birthday, when it's her anniversary, when it's anything. So check out yacho.com and buy gifts that she actually wants. Buy stuff that she actually is going to be happy. Usually when your wife opens gifts from you, she doesn't care. She's like, I know this is crap, but now that will all change. Yahoo.com. Be a gift buying beast of a machine. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. I'm out. Trying to be out. Why is it? It's having trouble ending broadcasts. That's something. We're just going to stay going live then, I guess. All right. I think it's ending now. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you can still hear me, I don't know what's happening here. Dude, it won't let me end this broadcast. This is something. So anyway, so you guys got any questions? Well, I guess we'll keep it going here for a minute since it won't let me end this thing. It's like you will keep talking. I have no idea.